Welcome to Overachiever Recovery, the podcast for successful women who are ready to be more than just productive. I'm Dasha, a recovered overachiever myself. My goal is for you to reclaim the life you're meant to live, rooted in desire and self-interest. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Overachiever Recovery. I'm really glad you're here. And if you clicked on this episode because you're tired, not just physically tired, but tired of being the strong one, this one is for you. Today, we're talking about the shadow side of being the responsible one. And I don't actually need to explain what that means, because as soon as I say it, you already know if it's you. You're the one people rely on without thinking, the one who remembers birthdays, the one who notices when something's off, the one who sends the text, makes the plan, smooths things over, picks up the slack. At work, you're the person who sees the problem before it becomes a problem. In your family, you're the one who holds it together when everyone else falls apart. In friendships, you're the listener, the helper, the steady one. Being responsible is admirable until it becomes a role you never get to step out of. Because at some point, people stop seeing you. They only see what you do for them. They may even appreciate it, but somehow it's not enough for you anymore. Because people don't notice when you are exhausted. They don't ask how you are really doing. They assume that you're fine because you've always been fine. But deep down, you wish that people noticed that you're overwhelmed and are barely holding it together. And meanwhile, you're going home at night feeling completely depleted and a little invisible. Most women who end up in this role didn't choose it deliberately. It started really early. Maybe you were the kid who could sense tension the second you walked into a room, so you tried to keep the peace. Maybe you were the easy child, the one who didn't need much, didn't make waves, didn't add to the chaos. Maybe you grew up around adults who couldn't regulate themselves, emotionally, financially, relationally. So you learned to do it for them. So you learned to read moods, to anticipate other people's anger and volatility, to adjust yourself so that things won't blow up. You needed to do that to survive. That makes sense. But over time, that survival strategy became your identity. You learned that being responsible buys you appreciation, that being useful buys you love, that being the strong one buys you a sense of acceptance and belonging. So by the time you're an adult, you're not just managing tasks. Tasks are easy. You're managing emotions. You're managing expectations. You're managing other people's comfort. Here is what that looks like in real life. You notice that your partner is stressed, so you don't bring up the thing that's bothering you. Again, you're the one who adjusts. You're exhausted at work, but you don't really say anything because everyone is busy. So you sacrifice your sleep and your workout. Your friend calls to vent for the third time this week, and you listen, even though you're running on empty, because you don't want to let her down. You anticipate what's about to fall apart, and you fix it even before the problem arises. Often, you take responsibility for things that were never actually yours. People admire you. They depend on you. They trust you. But almost no one says, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need a break? Do you want someone to take care of you for a minute?" There is a cost to that. Responsibility without boundaries turns into resentment. The kind that you don't want to feel, but can't get rid of because you're tired of being the one who always shows up. It turns into depletion, not just physical exhaustion, but that bone-deep tiredness where everything feels like too much. It turns into a loss of self, because when you're always scanning for what other people need, you stop knowing what you want. And here's the hardest part to say out loud. When you're always the one holding everything together, no one holds you. I want to be really clear about something, though. Being responsible is not the problem. It is a gift. Your reliability, your thoughtfulness, your ability to see the big picture, those are strengths. The problem comes when you can't acknowledge your own needs, when you stop asking for help, when you stop being seen for what you are going through, or when you're afraid of what might happen if you stop carrying everything. This is the work we do in Overachiever Recovery and my group program, Soft and Strong. Not becoming thoughtless, not dropping your values, but learning how to put down what was never yours to carry in the first place. Learning where you end and other people begin. Learning that you don't have to earn the right to be taken care of by doing so much for others first. Learning that you're allowed to need support before your body shuts you down with a flu or something worse. So I want to leave you with 2 questions this week. Again, not to judge yourself, just to notice. First, where did I learn that my worth is tied to how much I can do for others? And second, what am I carrying right now that I never actually agreed to? Is it your partner's emotions? Picking up the slack at work? Doing all the housework and parenting virtually alone? Being there as soon as another adult needs you, even when you could have used a break? Just notice. Notice how it feels in your body when you ask yourself that. Because that's where your overfunctioning lives. And that's also where your healing starts. You don't have to stop being capable. You just don't have to do it all alone anymore. If this episode spoke to you, it isn't a coincidence you're here. If you're ready to start living life on your terms, I would love to help you get there. Find me at coachingbydasha.com or connect with me on LinkedIn. Until next time, choose yourself.